It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 2nd of October 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to RTV Ora's English edition. My name is Alexandra, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. The leader of the Democratic Party has responded to Prime Minister Edi Rama's statements that he is ready to work with Lulzim Basha on electoral reform. The opposition leader said that Rama has received the opposition's plan for electoral law, urging Rama to implement it, as otherwise Basha asserted that he would do it himself. This is not a personal issue for me, nor an issue for Rama. Albania is in crisis. We have a plan to get the country out of the crisis. We have a plan, a proposal for electoral reform. We have submitted this plan to Edi Rama and his representatives. Take it and implement it. If you can't do it, we are ready to do so, said DP leader Basha. Lulzim Basha's allies, Fatmir Mediu of the Republican Party and Monika Kruamadi of the Socialist Movement for Integration, both declared the same position. It is unacceptable for a Prime Minister, but more so for the majority leader, to continuously play word games. It is not a matter of drums anymore. It is extremely important to see the situation as it is, especially in the case of the country's Prime Minister. It is important to look at the problems that Albania has, and the problems today are on Rama's side. We have already announced the bid for the electoral reform to the Socialist Party and to Rama himself, the bid for issues and problems that Albania must address to join the European Union, has been clearly presented by the Bundestag and other European countries. There is a need to take responsibility, and the main responsibility is all reform should not be carried out by a parliamentary committee, but by a special structure with the participation of internationals. Prime Minister Edi Rama considers the opposition's package for resolving the political crisis as unacceptable. The majority leader even went as far as to call the situation an artificial earthquake, of which the only ones injured are the representatives of the united opposition. Although he does not accept the terms of Lulzim Basha's agreement, the head of the government is committed to meeting Germany's terms by the end of year 2 in the hope of a positive response to the opening of negotiations. But on the other hand, Edi Rama surrenders before the decision of the two sceptical countries, such as France and the Netherlands, as according to him, the decision is not in the hands of Albania. Until the first intergovernmental conference where Albania will sit with the EU states, our country must approve the electoral reform and make both the constitutional and high courts operational. The Democratic Party has urged the prosecution to launch investigations into the $80,000 paid for a photo that Prime Minister Edi Rama had taken with the United States President Barack Obama in 2012. The petition filed with Guzman Bardi's signature has been sent to the prosecution following a US court ruling to sentence William Argaros, a US citizen, over a payment of $80,000, which the Democrats say was paid on behalf of Edi Rama. According to the Democratic Party, the lawyer of William Argaros has claimed in court that the Voice of America, as well as other international media, quoted him as saying that his client has acted on behalf of the candidate for the post of the Prime Minister of Albania, who wanted to take a picture with Mr. Obama. In the request directed to the prosecution, the Democrats listed 9 questions aimed at uncovering whether Prime Minister Edi Rama found the $80,000 on his own or whether this money has been derived as a benefit from corruption. In the letter, the Democratic Party assesses how the prosecution acts in this scenario is another indicator of how well law enforcement is implemented in this country. So far, the Secretary-General writes, this body has served as a culture of impunity without bringing any senior officials to justice. Even after the publication of the Venice Commission's draft opinion, there is no doubt for the majority that President Ilir Meta has violated the Constitution in annulling his decree for the June 30 elections. In an interview for Ora News, the leader of the Socialist Party's parliamentary group, Talent Bala, says he will be present at the Venice Commission's plenary session to explain what he interprets as constitutional violations by the head of state. Regarding statements by Ilir Meta that the Lion of Venice is not afraid of the Venice Commission, Talent Bala gave him friendly advice as a former Socialist Party ally. Give up from the violation or the negative attitudes towards the internationally accepted institutions as impartial. On the other hand, the Socialist Party will not consider the Democratic Party's proposal for a new structure on electoral reform, not even the demand of the new opposition to change the system. The DP is used to setting conditions that it does not even understand. Today, Albania has an obligation to comply with the ODIHR recommendations. Issues related to the electoral system have nothing to do with Albania's European path, said Bala. Talent Bala is convinced that the first phase of conditions set by the German Bundestag will become a reality within 2019. Our Independence Day will find us with at least 5 members in the Constitutional Court, which is the quorum needed for the functionality of this court, explained Bala. For sceptical countries such as France and the Netherlands, the SP calls on the EU to take responsibility for Albania and North Macedonia, as it says integration should not remain hostage to internal problems. Zana Harizai was 61 years old when she began her battle with breast cancer. She had often heard about the disease but had never undergone a medical examination. However, for the past 5 years, she could often be found on the oncology hospital at the University Hospital Centre, where she has undergone intensive treatment. Coping with the disease has not been easy. In the absence of spouses and children due to emigration, she has been left to fight it alone and expected to do so quietly. The ongoing battle has not defeated her smile, though her fear for her life has not yet passed. She invites all women and girls to become more aware and to take better care of their health. Breast cancer is the most common disease affecting women and girls. Doctors appeal for frequent medical checkups as they say prevention is by far more easy than curing. About 52% of students are dissatisfied with higher education institutions. In presenting the findings of the National Student Survey, the Minister for Education, Besa Shahini, said that the data should engage university leaders in enhancing the quality of teaching and improving infrastructure. I think this is an important message to think about. So what can we do to improve the situation in public universities, both in terms of infrastructure, but also in the quality of education that really belongs to universities to improve it urgently, said Minister Shahini. The survey was conducted during April and May of this year, when approximately 89,000 questionnaires were sent back by students, equating to a national completion rate of 31.2%. As part of the negotiations with the European Union, the Ministry of Tourism and Environment has launched discussions to synergise Albanian legislation with that of the European Union. In his speech, Minister Blendi Klosi said the environmental policies require at least 70 legal changes, according to EU directives. For this, Klosi called for the engagement of stakeholders to ensure Albania can move closer to the European Union. The minister emphasised that measures have been taken to reduce major polluters, as well as to facilitate the relationship of businesses with the administration. Klosi mentioned the difficulty of Chapter 27, calling for open discussions with public opinion. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and please be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of RTV Ora News, thank you and good night.